My name is Mitz. Here we are back at Higurashi When They Cry. So the last episode, basically Akasaka realized the whole town already knows who he is. His cover's been blown from the very second he stepped inside, the very second he made the phone call. Everything is in order, everything was pre-planned, everything like that, and existential crisis ensues. He has to keep up appearances because he doesn't want them to know that he knows that he knows that they know that he knows that he knows and they know, and all of that. Knowledge is power and all that. And just from the tip section of last time, definitely feel like just Mion making a phone call to her father, like Yakuza, since it's been said that they were the ones behind the Granson's kidnapping, is definitely taking on the next step of the kidnapping, whether they're moving the kids somewhere else or freeing them or literally anything like that. The ties with that and the foreman's death is definitely still very ambiguous, and it's still hilarious. We technically met the victim in proxy in the whole entire Mahjong game. It's honestly hilarious. As a quick sign before leaving on, I decided to honestly just go through the game when there's no choices and creating like literally just two separate sides. Like, all this is my normal stuff I had for like choosing choices, and this is the one I'm going for now, which I'm just for pacing reasons, gets rid of the choice altogether from the console ports, and I'm just going with the choices there. Afterwards, then I'll look through the choices, obviously just see what they hold and if anything interesting happens in them, because especially since this series has a lot of wishy-washy things of how I can even imagine how things can go, why not have a wishy-washy let's play then, huh? My god. Okay. So exactly what is your plan from making sure no one knows that you know that they know and all that before I go on that long rant again? I had a restless night's sleep. I did nothing but turn over repeatedly during a night that seemed like it lasted for eternity. Even then, I eventually fell asleep at some point, not realizing how high in the sky the sun had risen. I shook out the urge to go back to sleep. It was then I noticed the phone was ringing. Did you at least stay up all night and then start falling asleep when the sun was high? Okay. The time was almost 10:30 in the morning. It was clearly too late for a wake-up call. I mean, that's if that's your normal time to wake up. I wake up at 6 p.m. in the afternoon. No, but still, people wake up way late. I'm not a morning person. Makasaka-san. Good morning. It's Oishi. Ah, gosh, not now. Waking to the sound of Oishi's voice, a little too much of a shock. My delicate ears were ringing. But thanks to that shock, I was suddenly wide awake, basically just like shoved down, just like poured over with ice cold water then with that voice. Hello. Good morning. Hmm? Could it be you just woke up? Even though you're on assignment, it's still not good to be asleep during regular business hours. No. You're absolutely right. I'll be more careful in the future. I have another tidbit that might wake you up even more. There was something interesting mixed in with the lost and found at Hinamizawa police box. Ah, bells. Ah, ominous sign. Possession sign. Ah, not really, but still. Lost and found? Lots of the details for when you get here. Okay, well, looks like it's time for you to don that mask and the silly little Mojo glasses underneath that, so no one can tell who you are. Lots of the details for when you get there. You think you'll be able to make it before noon? No, I'll be there right away. Are you supposed to make a report real quick? Oh gosh, it's because you didn't fall asleep because of the panic and all of that, and this sudden phone call, you forgot about it, and now you'll be going in there with no backup. Oh no, no one's gonna know you're there. No one is gonna know that you're there and in danger. Oh gosh, oh no, you're in trouble. Oishi already knew what my mission was. Since Oishi said it was something that would wake me up, it was hard to believe that it would be irrelevant to me. Maybe that's what Mion actually calls the... Maybe. Honestly speaking, judging from the information from the Sato he saw yesterday, knowing that my cover was already blown, I couldn't wander to and from Hinamizawa carelessly. In other words, my investigation was at an impasse. There was some information there that could put me back in the trail. That'd be nothing less than a stroke of good fortune. After vigorously washing my own face, I put on my jacket and hailed a taxi, heading towards the Okinomiya police station. Yep, you forgot to make the phone call. You said you're gonna make a morning call and then all that. Oh my gosh. You forgot. Oh, you're here. The genius mahjong player has arrived. Basically so. Almost so. It's almost like an adult Keiichi, almost. Man. Naivete. Yeah. My apologies for being late. So exactly what popped up? With absolutely no intention of reminiscing about last night's mahjong game, I pressed him to get to the point. Oishi, anticipating that I would act that way, cut the chase without any resistance. Like I said earlier, something arrived from the Hinamizawa police box lost and found this morning. The lost items that were turned over to the police box were sent to Okinomiya Station after the paperwork was filled out. Oishi pulled out a plastic bag from a drawer and laid its labeled contents in the desk. Okay, now, out of all these miscellaneous stuff, which is relevant and which is just someone's lost toy here? Is that a wallet? Oh my god. Indeed. There was small change inside, but no bills. We thought that a pickpocket threw it away after pulling the contents. At first. Is there a note or an ID in there? Oh boy. I understand how this wallet, so far removed from Tokyo, could possibly relate to the kidnapping. Or somehow that wallet which you get to Oishima winds up in lost and found is even also a quiet, subtle threat to you. Nice. If it had drawn Oishi's attention, it wouldn't be something dramatic, like the wallet belonging to the missing grandchild. That's a heck of an allowance. That would be absurd. The weirder things happen in the world. Like something that convenient would happen. Stroke chin. If that was it, then there would probably be initials written in the wallet. Like initials of Toshiki Inokai, the minister's grandson, T.I., T.I.Y. Thinking like that, at this point, I didn't suppose that this wallet was something that could get Oishi so excited. Oishi, after putting on a pair of disposable plastic gloves, handed me a pair of the same. For a second I thought he said glasses, like, oh, you really need to read the fine print of the wallet then. Pushes up glasses, animation. I didn't feel this wallet was such an important thing, so I had my doubts about whether there was any point in putting on gloves. However, I didn't want Oishi's attention to go to waste, so I put them on. Oishi opened the plastic bag and pulled it out, showing me the back. As I imagined, there were initials engraved there, but slightly more detailed than I thought, with Toshiki I marked on it. Oishi grinned at me with a look on his face that said, "See? We can't confirm that from that this belongs to Minister's grandson," I informed him calmly. Is that name common, I guess? Is that what you're implying here? This wallet was irrelevant. It was nothing more than Oishi's over-eagerness. First of all, there's absolutely no way, in this distant locale, that the missing grandson's wallet would be found with such convenient timing. After all, the Onikafuji Guardians wasn't related to the case in the first place. There's no way this wallet belonged to the grandson. Why I wanted to decide that was the case, even I didn't really know. Because you're afraid. Finger guns. Even though it should have been a top-secret case leaked before I had even been dispatched. Your paranoia is getting to you. In this situation, how could I say this was definitely unrelated? It would be more prudent to pay more attention to this wallet, actually? It had only been a couple days since I arrived in Hinamizawa, but in those couple days, to the number of remarkable events, my nerves might have become just a little, frayed. Shaking my head slightly, I cleared of unnecessary thoughts. Oishi opened the wallet's zipper, revealing the contents. Inside was small change and a number of crumpled receipts. Oishi, from the jumble, pulled out a folded card. It's the kid's business card! Seeing that, my heart stopped for a moment. It was a card from a dental examination. Huh? The name, Toshiki Inokai, and the age. A perfect match. The dentist's location was in Tokyo. There was no need to explain any further. Yeah. How far was it from Tokyo to Hinamizawa? I want to know. Oh, goddammit. It was far enough that taking the bullet trains and cars would still take several hours. Okay. Why would a wallet with a dental examination card from Tokyo inside show up in Hinamizawa? Could it belong to a tourist who came from Tokyo? Maybe a villager on vacation to Tokyo just happened to pay a visit to the dentist. No. It had been fallen to somebody's bag by accident. my mind, I desperately struggled to find a possible excuse to why this wallet didn't belong to Toshiki Inokai. It was as if it just wouldn't do for this wallet to belong to him. However, weeding out any possibility for error one by one, the haze on the wall in front of me faded, gradually letting it come into clear focus. See? I felt shiver electricity around my spine. My first thought was immediate trauma. Man, I have to go back to that town again? My pulse quickened, and a thin film of sweat began to coat my entire body. Okay, I know I said it's a joke, but oh my gosh, are you actually that traumatized from that? Just from that one conversation? Okay. From Oishi's point of view, I was probably slack-jawed and spaced out, with a slovenly look on my face. Did you get information from the dental office? That's your job, Akasaka-san. I didn't go that far. When did this wallet show up? The person who picked it up was a villager. They did so yesterday, it seems. What was their name? Not that I mean, when was this wallet dropped? A reindeer last week, exactly 7 days ago. 7? Doesn't look like the contents are water damaged, so the longest it could be probably be 6 days. What? They've been kidnapped for 4 days. Does anybody else at the station have knowledge of the existence of this wallet? Officer first encountered it at the Hinamizawa police box. And also the 2 or 3 people in the charge of the lost and found. Other than that, it's just me and you. Involved in a classified case, it'd be better to talk about, wouldn't it? I don't tend to wag my tongue. May I borrow a phone? Go ahead. Dial 0 to get an outside line. Okay. Operator. We gotta get the news out. I dialed the phone number inscribed in the examination card. I hear my pulse pounding inside my head. Could there possibly be something so absurd? The addresses on the receipts and the cards on the wall were all from around the area where the grandson lived. The name on the examination card was also a match. The time we deduced that the wall had been left behind also matched up with the timeline of the kidnapping. Wait, really? Huh. But, like, if the kid came home from school... Huh. Or was it, like, this is literally, like, the 6th day? Like, in the tips scene with Mion, like, talking to, the grandmother about the kidnapping 4 days, is it literally just to place the exact time the conversation took place? 4 days after the initial kidnapping, and technically this day happened, like, 2 days afterwards. So those conversations where again the tips are not happening at the exact same time, but literally just before all this took place. So that means that conversation took place before even Akasaka even came to Hinamizawa then at all. Huh. Of course, it was possible I could just laugh it off as a big pile of coincidences. There wasn't any strong evidence. Rather than all this circumstantial proof, the contents of the phone call I was about to make would have a much greater meaning. Hello, sorry to keep you waiting. This is Nagagawa Dental Office. Hello, this is Okinomiya Police Department. I have a misplaced wallet here, and I'm trying to get in contact with the owner. Would you be able to help me? Inside the wallet there was an examination card from your office. Yes. The name is Toshiki Inukai. If I give you the number on the card, would you be able to look up the phone number? Yes, thank you. If you could. Still holding the receiver, I pull out a notebook from my breast pocket with my free hand. Excuse me. I open it up to the page of the grandson's address and phone number recorded on it. Yes, hello. Yes, go ahead. I compared the phone number written in my notebook to the one that was being read out on the other end of the line. During the process, I spun around to look behind me uneasily. I locked eyes with Oishi. The possession! Oishi looked puzzled, wondering what the matter was. Why would I feel uneasy and look behind me? That's because the person at the end of the line was reading out the numbers, though doing so straight from my notebook. Well, I mean, it's not that hard. It's literally just guarantees. It just literally just is. Well, it's not that surprising. Man, you're so traumatized by that conversation you had in the car with the informant. Wow. It seemed that HQ was in quite an uproar thanks to my report. No matter how many times the authenticity of the evidence I'd linked to the grandson was called into question, I can only respond that it was the truth. When the lead investigator first picked up the phone, I was grilled about the evidence I found that was almost too good to be true, if I do say so myself. After having doubt after doubt dispelled, he fell into silence. The receiver was finally handed over to the section chief. Ah, this is where it comes to play. Relay all the big secrets. When I picked it up, the background thrum at the other end of the line disappeared, and I knew that it had gone completely silent. Asking the same question about the wall that the lead investigator did, the chief quietly spoke his next words. Got it. We'll dispatch several people as reinforcements. They should be able to make it there by evening. Kasaka-kun, please continue with your investigation of the area. Get some information on the spot where the wallet was found. Kano-san will select some people and head directly there. The fact that he was sending Kano, the lead investigator, here meant that the chief had decided there was a possibility that the Onikafuchi Guardians were somehow implicit in the kidnapping. However, it felt as though until the lead investigator, whom he trusted, had verified the evidence with his own eyes, he was still going to be skeptical about it. How'd it go? As good as you expect. It seems that HQ is sending reinforcements. I was ordered to investigate the area. Where was the wallet dropped? Around Takasudo, apparently. This is Okinomiya. All the way over here this is Hinamizawa. Then, even further upstream, way around here is Takasudo. Oishi explained where the wallet was found by pointing to locations on the map on the wall. This place called Takasudo was even more remote than Hinamizawa was. There's hardly anybody living in the area around Takasudo. It was deserted a long time ago. It's littered with abandoned houses, so it's really quite desolate around there. So, exactly who's the one who paid for the wallet? Is it just someone who decided to take a walk around there? Oishi-san, can I ask you to guide me to Takasudo? Yeah, I don't mind. You can't really get in and out of Hinamizawa as you please by yourself after all. Of course, I'll have to make you wear the cap and mask again. The nice, fancy little baseball cap. That Oishi agreed to accompany me was very reassuring. If Sato-san's information was to be believed, my cover had been blown. I wasn't sure the villagers realized the fresh meat dispatch that public safety was a tourist that had visited the village yesterday. In other words, me. But a sign that they hadn't noticed would have been overly optimistic. Given a cursory thought, Takasudo, where the wallet was found, couldn't be ruled out as a hiding spot for the kidnappers. I mean, yeah, but I completely doubt it, though. My first thought is, like, the wallet was literally just, like, no. It was either, no, it doesn't make sense for them physically planted there unless they know about them, it's like a hollow threat, like, to the thing, but I mean, makes them, a lot of, well, it was more press to the kidnapping then. Since it was like a big top secret, then more eyes then be put toward Hinamizawa in this dam project, which I guess in some way would be good, but then they had to do it strategically in fact to make it seem like they are not the bad guys at the very least. So, especially since like only like Shion was the only one who told Keiichi that, and I don't think there was anything. No one brought up a thing about kidnapping back then. Besides, you know, Shion and Mion. So, So it's not revealed to the public by the end, I'm assuming. The Takasudo area didn't have any residential buildings, nor was alongside a highway. There wasn't a reason for even the locals to go out of their way to visit it. It was exactly what you would call a long-forgotten ghost town at the end of the road. You couldn't ask for a better place to hold a kidnapped grandson. I guess so. Also, you couldn't get to Takasudo without passing through Hinamizawa first. Those sort of conditions made the area all the more important. I couldn't brush it off any longer. There was no longer any doubt that Onikafuchi Guardians, or somebody hired by them, were involved in the kidnapping. Actually, that makes even more sense thinking of the tip section when they had to bring groceries too. If that was the case, then the fact that this wallet was found might have already been leaked to them. They even knew so much as how the Public Safety Division was operating. The case of the wallet couldn't be something they didn't know. In that case, it was possible that the enemy was lying in wait. To dive below in enemy territory surrounded by enemy territory, to say the least, required an amount of courage, nay, recklessness that I just did not have. So why not get someone else who is the recklessness to do it? Yes, reckless enough to literally shake a child, which you only have a passing recollection of having of some relation to someone you need to talk to, violently shake them, almost aggressively so, and almost digging into their skin with your hands. Yes, scaring them. Yes, so that's that kind of reckless. Eh. Without your company, Oishi-san, I wouldn't be able to step into the village so easily. Thank you very much for your cooperation. Honestly, I thought you would ask for more money. Now you put the ID in his head. Well, for being honest, Hinamizawa isn't going to be a place I'd like to go to. I'd at least appreciate it if you paid for the cab fare. Still, it's not a request I can refuse from a friend that's played that same table as me. Okay, back away. Oishi grinned as he pounded me in the back. It struck me that he just didn't want to jump ship rather than having any sort of sense of duty toward his job. Even so, that didn't really matter. Right now, I really appreciate the gesture. Also, the latest music. The intensity. Well then, shall we hurry up and get going? The enemy knew that the police had obtained the wallet. Then they would probably have moved the hostage to a different place. There wasn't a moment to lose. But Oishi, without regard to the fact that we were about to head out, began to remove his jacket. What are you doing? He's gotta put on his super secret special secret agent jacket. Well, just a precaution. You want me to poke the bee out to get your honey, I have to be rather well prepared, you see. You want to put on one too? Oishi pulled from the drawer below the desk with a stab-proof vest. Yay! It doesn't make sense why he's Akasaka's definitely afraid, but it's still funny. His name was Toshiki Inukai, the grandson of the Minister of Construction, Inukai. There was only one reason for him being here. If you didn't include gym, or art class, his grades were above average. That was the result of having private tutoring sessions twice a week. If you omitted the fact that he still couldn't do pull-ups, there wasn't much else that would make him hate school. Look, I can't do a pull-up, okay? Of course, he understood full well that his grandfather was a cabinet minister. He also knew that too many people were that interested in their relationship. He didn't like to go out of his way to bring up his grandfather, or to call him the Minister of Construction. And finally, he at least tried to know a little more about what kind of work the Minister of Construction did than your average Joe. What that entailed was that when you tried your best to make life better for the masses, sometimes you made a few enemies. Yeah, honestly. Some people just don't want that to happen either for some reason. He knew that all too well from the time he spent as class representative. His grandfather had many enemies. He knew that he might personally catch some of that fallout, so had to be twice as cautious. Are we in the kid's point of view now? He was taught that by his parents. That's why, the moment that he was kidnapped, he instantly knew that this was one of those occasions. He understood that he wasn't being treated as Toshiki Inukai, the person, but was Toshiki Inukai, the grandson of the Minister of Construction. Wow, that must be about demoralizing. That he wasn't personally at fault, but this was the result of some unavoidable trouble with his grandfather's work. It made little difference, but when he realized it wasn't because of anything he did, he was able to relax, if only a little, blame the grandfather. Of course, at first he was struck with a terror befitting his age, wondering what was going to happen to him. After a while of being tied up and only able to stay laying down, he began to ponder a great many things. First, he thought about the reason he was being abducted like this. He understood the answer to that easily. He was taken hostage to coerce his grandfather, the minister. There was no doubt about that. He didn't know exactly what the Minister of Construction did, but it was easy to imagine that there was much to be gained from threatening him. He respected his grandfather more than most. He earnestly believed that his own grandfather was within the top 20 of the most important people in Japan. That was exactly why he wouldn't forgive anybody who tried to threaten his beloved grandfather. More importantly, he wouldn't forgive anybody who would use him as a tool to threaten his grandfather. His grandfather was really busy and really had time to meet with relatives. That's why, with what little time he did manage to scrape together, he just dropped by unannounced. And as an apology for not being able to meet during New Year's or summer vacation, he doted on his grandson very, very much. The number of times that Toshiki was looked upon with disregard just because his grandfather's politician and a minister certainly weren't few. If people actually recognized your surname, then yeah. But he never thought, even once, that he wanted his grandfather to quit being a politician, because it was his beloved grandfather. He wanted him to continue his career as long as possible from the bottom of his heart. However, Toshiki was now being held hostage, and his grandfather was being threatened. His grandfather, who called him the apple of his eye, was surely suffering. He might do anything to save his grandson, maybe even putting aside his ideology if it was required to save his grandson. He might cave into the culprit's demands if it meant saving his grandson. When Toshiki thought about that, an inexplicable anger welled up within him. In his current situation, he was unable to forgive the cowards who would make his beloved grandfather suffer by using such dastardly means. You dastardly villains, shake fist at Cloud. That feeling welled up within inside of him, displacing the fear. What he thought of first was something any boy would imagine. Get out of those bonds, beat up the bad guys, then hand them over to the police. Images of all the brave heroes from all the manga he had read passed through the back of his mind. His imaginary scenario, he slipped his bonds easily, floating like a butterfly to evade his captors, then stinging like a bee to bring them all down. Since you're blindfolded, It's gonna be a whole other thing to, like, try to attack a bunch of people, like, had the means to kidnap you, so, oh boy. It's a common fantasy, though, if you're definitely in a situation, though. In the end, it was nothing more than a silly little fantasy, but with his vision obstructed, unable to see anything, it was something that he could get into more than any anime at the moment. The most entertaining thing on the screen right now, my own vision, my own mind. In actuality, he was enjoying these little scenarios in his head for the long period of time he was tied up. His characters hadn't really done anything to him that they would feel sorry for. However, eventually, he began to grow tired of his fantasies, and more realistic scenarios began to run through his head. It was then he realized that none of them were a solution. Yes, he wanted to do something for his grandfather, who was being threatened. That he was being held here to inflict pain on his grandfather was a thing that he could least forgive, and also the most vexing. And then, he noticed. There was a much simpler way he could save his grandfather without having to beat up these despicable captors. That was to remove himself as a hostage from the hands of these villains. Yeah. If he was to disappear from here, his captors would have nothing to threaten his grandfather with. The captors had restrained him, but they didn't treat him roughly, and they made sure he was well fed enough. Meaning, at most, he was nothing more than a means to their threat. They weren't looking to bully or kill him out of spite. It feels like, there's a part of me that says don't test your luck, but especially if you don't think anyone's gonna come, I guess I can't fault you. If he behaved, no ill would befall him. Plus, sometimes you do have to take some risks. Oh boy, that's the theme of this installment actually now. Oh boy. Realizing that gave him a strong sense of courage. In carrying his train of thought this far, he let it run its course to its natural conclusion. Right now, this moment, Toshiki Inukai had decided to escape. His ear had been stuffed with a sponge-like material, acting as makeshift earplugs. However, they didn't actually do much to block any sound, and he could overhear everything his captors were saying. Okay, nice. Realizing that this was to his advantage, even when his captors spoke to him, he acted like he couldn't hear them due to the earplugs. Nice plan, honestly. Love it. His captors, thinking that he couldn't hear the conversation, talked about all the sorts of things without reservations. Thanks to that, he was able to obtain various pieces of information. First off, this wasn't Tokyo. It seemed this was quite a distance away, and on top of that, in the countryside, nestled deep in the mountains. It also seemed that his captors were inconvenienced living out here, so he could deduce that this place is far removed from any sort of town. Okay, so that literally where the wall was found is actually where the kidnapping is held up, okay. Finally, whenever they went out to buy food or other supplies, they'd always take a car. Okay, so it's definitely way far away then, not walking distance. That fact caused him some dismay, because he knew that the method he learned at school running around blindly without shouting for help wouldn't work here. He paused his little mental escape scenario there. His ultimate goal was to find somebody who would help him. If somebody who fit the description wasn't close by, his chance of escaping successfully grew slim. This is basically just the whole thing of becoming lucky or waiting for someone to rescue you. A desolate, far-off land deep in the mountains, a place where you couldn't even go shopping without using a car. In this situation, escaping would be very difficult. He grew depressed. After a little while, he returned to his original scenario. Imagine becoming a hero like the manga he read and being down as captors became his respite. Summon a sword or a metal baseball bat into your hand and beat them all up. However, as he played those illusions out in his head, his heart, hating to surrender, continued to search for a way to escape. And then, he thought of a way. If the goal was far away, then all he had to do was get closer. His goal, in a nutshell, was to find somebody who would help him. In other words, somebody other than his captors. If he faked being sick, his captors would have to take him to the hospital or bring a doctor to him. They'll probably be reluctant to do that, but he already knew the hostage was more important than anything. And the odd chance that something happened, like him dying, occurred, they wouldn't be able to threaten anybody anymore. You got to be very, very good at acting to pretend like you're sick. Especially since you're gagged as well. How are you going to do that? Are you just going to, like, somehow just pretend that you're coughing and wheezing? Or, like, your body heat's going up? Luckily, an experience that would help him fake a serious illness. Okay, you took an acting class, I see. At the end of last year, he was inadvertently involved in a car accident and had to undergo surgery. The scar from that surgery was still clearly visible in his lower torso. He recalled the pain and suffering from that time. The existence of that experience would make a huge impact on the realism of his performance. He was quite confident in his ability to fake an illness. His characters at first took that as a sign he needed to use the washroom, untying only his arms, and tried to bring him there while he was still blindfolded. Nice plan, honestly, so far. But he didn't try to get up. His hands, now free, only clutch his abdomen as he writhed in agony. Hey, what's wrong? Your stomach hurt? He still has earplugs in, so he had to pretend he didn't hear his captors asking the question. He was in the nod, so he hardly had to stop himself. What's the matter? And the kid's clutching at his stomach. Must be a stomachache or something. His captors looked down at his suffering form for a bit. One of them proposed a course of action, while another laid his doubt that Toshiki might be faking it. What's wrong, boy? Your tummy hurt? His ears are plugged, so he can't hear you. Well, that's a problem. Uncorks. We got any medicine that works on stomach pain? You might want to go to the pharmacy and buy some? When it comes to stomach pain, there's a bunch of different meds, isn't there? As long as we don't know the cause, we shouldn't just buy him any old medicine. He's holding his stomach, maybe just constipated. You buy him some medicine for that, maybe they'll calm him down. Won't kill him if we're wrong, either. Don't decide like something like that on your own. Might be appendicitis or something. My uncle suddenly got it a while ago. It's pretty scary. Just something doesn't appear in kids. Well, I don't know, people get surgery to get their appendicitis out. One of the captors leaned over beside the boy, who's bent over in agony. I feel sorry for the kid. Whoa, his whole body's covered in sweat. Is it your stomach? Does it hurt? Hey, if it hurts, you shouldn't clutch at it so tightly. It'll only make it worse. It wasn't his captors were concerned about his stomach. He inadvertently let his shirt ride up, letting a scar from his surgery come into play in view. Nice, inadvertently. Yes, the plan is working. Yeah. His vision was still obscured with packing tape, so he couldn't see the reaction to his scar. His captors were taken aback, obviously. And judging from their momentary silence, he obtained the reaction he was looking for. Oh, hey, this is bad. This scar, it's not that old. Does the boy have a fever? There a thermometer around? No way we have one. But that's a lot of sweat. Yeah, his forehead feels pretty hot, I think. Man, you even raised your body temperature like that. Nice. Complete genuine acting. Nice. And for that under prolonged stress, old wounds can be aggravated. Now what do we do? Are you saying that medicine will work? We don't know what surgery the scar is from. In any case, this is bad. In the worst case, it could be fatal. This is bad. This is really, really bad. Maybe we should have a doctor take a look at it. That's right, there's a chance they might suddenly die in us. Toshiki, Inukai, with those few words, knew the situation was progressing exactly as he envisioned it. He seconded himself on the inside, pressed his eye even further. Okay, still pretend you don't hear anything, please. He didn't even need to see to know his captors were panicked and were running around like chickens with their heads cut off at this troublesome turn of events. Should we take him to the clinic? No, that's no good. Probably better if that doctor came here. That doctor? Who doctor? Is the name of is a doctor the name of a clinic? Is that their name? Dr. Erie, you mean? Yes. Is that okay? Will that be all right? Any worse or anything happened to the hostage? Nothing we can do. It's an emergency. When the captors hurriedly left in the car, another man, completely shaken up at this point, wiped the sweat from his forehead with a handkerchief. Like they were bringing a doctor. As long as the doctor was an accomplice, that doctor was his goal. From the sound of it, don't hold your luck. He was someone he should seek help from. His captors were probably wary of that happening. To be prepared for it. This would all come down to luck. Some of the sweat emerging from his brow was from that nervousness. Ah, yes, this nice little hidey, rusty hole. That moment, the packing tape that was covering his eyes and ears was torn off. It's a nice place, actually, for what little it is. I guess it's mostly just for storage, though. The burning light that he was seeing for the first time in several days hurt his eyes. After that, the gag that made it hard for him to breathe was also removed. Are you alright, kid? We're bringing a doctor to you right now. Just hold on for a bit. The doctor was coming. The doctor was coming. Now, how is he going to ask for help? And how is he going to get away from his captors? A plethora of thoughts began swirling through his mind. I think you know this already, but don't say anything unnecessary to the doctor. That implication, okay. We don't want to hurt you or anything. You understand that, right? Toshiki Inokai nodded while feigning pain and obedience. His expectations and the enemy's expectations. Whether they doubted he was faking his illness or not, they knew what his goal was, and would try to stop it. His stomach contracted from the stress of this gambit, making it seem like his stomach really was starting to hurt. No, it really was. There was no reason to panic. If he failed with his approach to the doctor, there was nothing to lose. If there was something to lose, it was this method of faking illness to get in touch with the doctor. If you could think of other methods from here on out, it wasn't much. At the present, this was the easiest and most dramatic way you can think of, and dramatic is always the best way to go. The more he thought about it, the more it looked like this was his first and last gambit. Eventually, he heard the sound of a car approaching once again. How long was that? You better have a good idea of what to say and what to do. The sound of the car doors being hurriedly opened and shut. The sound of several footsteps approaching. Hello. A young man in a white medical coat. Hello, never seen you before in my entire life. As he acknowledged the boy, a suspicious look showed itself on his face. Who's he? He's not one of the kids in the village, is he? The captain didn't respond. From the looks of it, the young doctor had realized this was an abnormal situation. One of the captors talked threateningly. That's got nothing to do with you, Doc. For a while, the doctor and the captors suddenly glared at one another. However, unable to stand the sight of the boy continue to suffer, the doctor, if the captors had hoped, didn't press any further. I'm concerned about this old surgical scar. What kind of operation was it? We don't know. I should really bring him back to the clinic. Doc, we really can't do that. Doctor said he wanted to bring the boy back to the clinic. The captors simply, silently shook their heads at the notion. It was a fleeting hope. It was only natural the captors would refuse. At the moment, his eyes met with the doctor's. Seeing the boy's painful state was abnormal, the doctor suspected it was a serious illness. Are you alright? I'm a doctor. When was this surgical scar from? Last year, during the winter, from an accident. Oh my god. An accident. Anime glare. I see. And this is a problem. He couldn't let the doctor figure out he was faking it here. He had to figure out some way to keep this going until the doctor he was being confined and needed help. I'm going to touch the affected area, okay? If it hurts, tell me where. Ah! Since it was extremely painful, Doctor crossed his arms and began to ponder. He had to somehow get himself to a hospital. Toshiki Inokai, Faking this illness was the performance of a lifetime. Oh boy, and the police aren't here. Lucky, like, unluckily or lucky or not. Oh boy. Well, he does get out, but it's gonna take a bit more longer. Good work, everyone. I know it's up, but please do your best. If you catch anyone illegally dumping, please contact someone immediately. It's always the people illegally dumping in the area, in that little dumpster. My gosh, that's someone dumps a Colonel Randy statue there. It only gets discovered years later. We'll act quickly. Thank you for your cooperation, Oshi-san. Please. A gap wide enough for a single car was opened up in the barricade. Oishi, showing his gratitude, perhaps a threatening attitude, with a short beep on the horn, rolled the car forward through the checkpoint. This time, my appearance was the very embodiment of the word suspicious. Again. Or, did you add more to the disguise? You added several layers of coats. No exact skin was left to the open air. Gloves on. A baseball cap, mask, and sunglasses. You couldn't even see the eye colors of the person. On top of that, even though it was sweltering, I was wearing a hoodie. Any respectable police officer would be loath to not stop me for questioning. I had meant to be overcautious, knowing full well that my face was known, but it might have already been too late for that to have any use. Still, it would help, honestly. Using that as an excuse, I doffed the unbearably hot hoodie and windbreaker, ripped off the mask and hat, threw him in the seat behind me. Okay. Oh my. Is that okay? The cheap little disguise like this. Probably figured out anyways. That just might be the case, honestly, but still. I wouldn't take my chances anyway. Oishi, probably thinking that my unexpected behavior was funny, continued to laugh. Oh well. The beautiful and pristine scenery in Hinamizawa spread out before me. The village itself would have been quite beautiful if it weren't for the complicated circumstances surrounding it at the moment. I would absolutely love to take Yuki here for a drive one day. Provided all this is all over. And do you think the town would love it that you were here with about all that? You were here around the whole thing of riding with Oishiyama? Probably not. No, they'll still hate you. Have fun. Kind of think of it, I didn't get a chance to call her last night. I played around with the idea in my head. In reality, this village wasn't all sunshine rainbows. From the outside, it's a demon-infested ground. I had heard everything in the prefectural headquarters. The hardest village, the intelligence network that the three families wielded was, due to blood ties and regional relationships, unbelievably well organized. Their net spread not just around Hinamizawa itself, but encapsulated the entirety of the city of Shishibone as well. When I first heard that, somewhere in the recess of my mind, I didn't take it completely seriously. The informational network, even before the internet, expands far and wide. How could a local organization out in the boonies here have something so grandiose? I couldn't deny that somewhere in the back of my mind, I had ridiculed the thought. But not only were they really threatening the minister, they had demonstrated they had a complete grasp on our movements, which were supposed to be top secret. They were supposed almost like the secret police that controlled a small Eastern European country because of some spy novel. The villagers here wouldn't bat an eye at getting their hands dirty if it meant fighting the dam project. I mean, yeah, like if there's no water running, you can't really wash your hands. It also heard something like that at the prefectural headquarters. Now that you mention it, when I first arrived here, Oishi had also said that this place was a war zone, didn't he? Not a conventional one, but still. The residents of this village were at the same time freedom fighters. Although, by definition, they were no different than guerrillas or a militia. They were protected by the Geneva Convention, but they also didn't have to adhere to those rules either. This place is more of a quagmire than any legitimate battlefield. A secret war was unfolding. Dang, so they are allowed to use mustard gas. And whatever else. I could drive along because Oishi was with me. But if I was to leave this car for even something as trivial as looking for a vending machine, there was a chance I wouldn't return. Even though a single shot had been fired, this was a battlefield. No, The reason why bullets weren't flying is simply because it was hard for a civilian to obtain a gun in Japan. So they were probably just equipped with weapons other than guns that were easier to obtain. My first thought of spears and just some flagpoles and all that. That was why Oishi was wearing that stab-proof vest, wasn't it? Akasaka-san, were you nervous? The fact that I was apprehensive was, of course, picked up on by Oishi. I'm pretty sure it's completely obvious. Warzone. I'm finding out that basically everyone in this village already knows that technically there's someone suspicious in the midst, and they're gonna lie to not tip them off that they know about them. Yeah. And literally anyone can be stabbed and assaulted or murdered and literally get away with it. Yeah, honestly. That's definitely not scary at all. Not at all. If you already figured it out, there's no point in trying to deny or hide it. Of course I am. We're headed into the heart of enemy territory alone, aren't we? I'm worried about if something unlikely happens with just the two of us. Something unlikely? It'll be alright. Isn't everybody in this village our enemy? If everybody gets their story straight, they could murder someone in broad daylight and there wouldn't be a shred of evidence. I'm asking about something like that. This was what the ironclad rule of not barging to a Yakuza office alone was about. There wasn't a neutral party involved. That area wasn't bound by the laws of common sense. This thing happened. You wouldn't be able to prove it. And there wasn't anyone who would take your side. That's pretty much the definition of poking the bear. Yeah, especially at this point, there's literally no neutral parties. And if there's any neutral parties in this whole war zone, they then would just be, ironically, demonized then too. I have the word that we're heading towards the Hinamizawa area. And in the worst case, we've also got a radio. I know you're scared, Akasaka-san, but it's not that easy to pull off the perfect crime. Well, of course, that doesn't mean we can let our guard down either. Comforting. Akasaka-san, you're too worked up over this. You were more relaxed the last time we came up here together, weren't you? That's before more information can light. Complete information hazards. Yeah. Laughing it off, Oishi thumped his chest and grinned, as to say I could depend on him. Maybe, iffy, wishy-washy, Well, if it gets really iffy. Okay, you're also saying it's wishy-washy if you'll help it out. Okay, nice. This comes with having the badge. Oishi made a motion by sticking out his index finger. It was undoubtedly the image of a gun. Oh, you can't do that, not in this day and age. Will it be of any use? If you're not afraid of dealing with the aftermath that you shoot, it's actually very reassuring. Namsha's gun was only for show. If you really wanted to fire it, there were quite a number of stipulations, and you had to be prepared for a long, probationary period afterwards. That definitely wasn't worth it. So even if an officer didn't holster his gun, there wasn't one who actually wanted to pull the trigger. Akasaka-san, are you carrying one? One of these? Well, yeah. You ever fired it? I have. For training, though. I don't think that really counts, though. Well, I guess that'd be true. Well then, have you, Oishi-san? For real, I mean. Me? No, there's no way. What was this? I thought he was laughing at me because he had experience. The two of us laughed together. I've also never pointed the barrel at anybody. I've looked down the barrel of a gun a few times, though. Just being made to look down the barrel like that is enough to shorten your lifespan by about 3 years, give or take. Even if you had never fired a gun before, you couldn't even begin to compare the amount of experience Oishi had over me. At a time like this, I can only marvel again at how reliable Oishi seemed. That is right now, anyway. Come to think of it, I don't want to come this way in the middle of the day. Well, there's no way for a car to get through other than here. Akasaka-san, just in case, put on the mask again to hide your face. Please. What's the matter? Can you not hear it because the air conditioning is too loud? I'll turn it off. Try open the window. Is it too silent? When I opened the window, a blast of hot air blew inside. And then, I could hear angry yelling coming from far away. Then when the force gave way on either side of us, and our view expanded suddenly. And there could be seen the Hinamizawa Dam construction grounds. Yep, okay, immediately get the mask on right now. They're dealing with this protest right here. Sorry, you people, like on the front lines, we have something bigger on hand. The very front line for Hinamizawa Village. We're absolutely opposed to the construction of the Hinamizawa Dam. The crackling blare as someone's voice sounded over an enormous loudspeaker. The roar of angry voices continued to rumble. The incredible volume had become a veritable sound cannon, spewing out ammunition. The prefabricated site office was surrounded by 2 sets of high fences laced with barbed wire. Lined up in front of those fences were riot police and their vehicles. And surrounding it all were the villagers. I'm also getting reminded again of since the site foreman also said the pay was really good. It's those situations where even though there's a lot of protests, a lot of very obvious hostile, apprehension against it, unless something very drastic happens or something miraculous almost, nothing is really going to change as well, since the workers going to get paid ridiculous amounts for anyone to, I guess, maybe give enough chance to make it through, all those people angrily, protesting. The pay is good enough, honestly. And surrounding all of it were the villagers. They howled out their protests against the dam as a single entity. Well, there's not too many of them today. More than luck. That's not too many? Nope, nope, it's even more like this. Over 2 billion. Yeah, when there's a lot of them, the crowd reaches as far as the road. You wouldn't even be able to inch forward in a car. At first, to their overwhelming intensity, it looked to me like there was more people than there actually was. But upon close inspection, there are at most 50 to 70 of them. I wonder how many people are actually... what's the population of Hinamizawa now? The 6 or 7 propaganda trucks lined up that looked like they belonged to a band of thugs are a strange enough sight. The villagers are also wearing helmets and bandanas. This was covering their faces with masks, adding to the oddity of it all. Look, they're doing it as well. You might as well do it right now. Akasaka, get the mask on right now, please. The propaganda trucks, to braying their chorus, had their volume turned up even higher, and began to flood the air with sutras. To say the noise downright violent wouldn't be an understatement. From this distance, it was still this loud. The glass in the office was probably rattling from the noise. All we need is someone to sing a very high note for it to all come crashing down. I can't do anything there but take it. Those riot squad guys, every one of them is wearing earplugs. They're still having their hearing damaged. War sobs. It's like being the production manager of a music band who does so many goddamn concerts. Oh my gosh. Can't you do something about it with the noise ordinance laws? Our prefecture doesn't have any laws regarding noise ordinance. Oh, nice. Well, so those are sutras, right? We can't regulate relegate religious activities. Yes, loopholes. Nice. Noise. Law loopholes. Those guys are pretty smart. Is what I think Oichi said. Because my hearing was too damaged, I gone deaf. Actually, no matter how tight the window was shut, the booming sound of the sutras still filled the car, angrily just filling the strings. I couldn't even hear what Oishi, who was sitting right next to me, was saying. As the car approached the line of propaganda trucks, the blare became difficult to bear. Did you put the mask on? It wasn't enough to just plug my ears with fingers. I had to hold my head to keep my skull from splitting apart. If I had seen this terrifying energy sooner, I would have probably understood what Hinamizawa village was much quicker. Now I knew. They wouldn't blink an eye and sacrifice themselves in order to protect their hometown. So goddamn noisy. Shut up! My head throbbed and felt like it was going to split apart. My eardrums crackled. Top of it all, I felt like I was going to throw up. The road crowded with a throng of squatters, propaganda trucks, the riot police's vehicles. It was no easy way to get by. Again, mask. If you try to shoot the squatters with a car horn, they were also wearing earplugs, oblivious noise from the outside world, and wouldn't easily moved. The car can only inch toward a snail's pace, just to lightly tap against their bodies until they notice the car's there. Then just put the pedal to the metal. Even then, the car eventually got through, starting to leave the tumultuous noise behind. Oh hey, The old guy that was playing Mahjong with us last night? Remember him? Oh boy, what? I remember that there was an older person who didn't exactly mince words. The guy that Oishi called Old Man. There was something like that. You see, he's a foreman that can make a construction site. He's probably holed up in that prefab building, trying to work while irritated up his mind. Poor fella. You wouldn't be able to stand it if it was like that every day. Yeah. There's no end to the number of people who can't handle it and quit. But every time that happens, their wages go up, so I won't say it's in vain. Yeah, oh boy. You have to deal with all the noise and hostility. They still made a wage that Oishi found enviable. Huh. Yeah, that was the thing I was thinking of beforehand. It all makes sense. I actually remember watching a studio movie that actually was sort of similar in scale to it. A bit more fantastical with, what is it? Transforming tanukis, like going against some, I guess like a, contractors like building like more houses in suburbs in the Japanese countryside as well. What was the? I was thinking. I think the movie's name was Pon Pon. I think, top of my head. It's probably along those lines. But yeah, I watched it recently. Man, that movie was good. Really depressing too. It was sad. Really sad. Damn it, these guys. Can they hear or can't they? A group of squatters are in the way of the car. They start climbing over it. Oishi, sufficiently annoyed, laid into the horn. There was no indication that they were moving anytime soon. In this din, could they not even hear a car horn? Or did they hear it, and were being malicious? If there were any riot police nearby, they would have made people move, but just so happened there weren't any around here in this area. Jeez. Wait just a minute. Oishi opened the door. The hot air and even more heated roar of the crowd spilled into the car. I can't make a noise as it's like reduced out of noise. Oishi said something as he grinned widely, but couldn't hear what it was. He was getting them to move. Something like that? Oishi stepped out of the car and closed the door. The din faded slightly. I stared blankly as Oishi headed towards the group and started some sort of conversation. Maybe find the minister's grandson, Takasudo. At the very least, I wanted to find him there. Find him, and slip the cursed bonds of this incomprehensible village. Yeah, let my higher-ups deal with this right now. I'm a rookie. Please let me handle this later on. I can only pray. In that moment, a shadow was suddenly cast over me. Somebody was standing right outside the passenger side window, blocking the sunlight. Again, did you pick up the mask? I spun around, looked up, and realized who the black-lit figure was. Huh. It was a girl. How tall is she? It was Rika Furude. The girl stared down at me with a bored look in her eyes. I didn't have any justification for it. I felt like I'd been found out by somebody I shouldn't be found by. To fill the silence, I raised my hand as I mouthed a meek greeting. Yeah, have fun. Of course, there was no way she heard my small voice in this clamor. Even then, she should have seen me wave my hand in greeting. In spite of that, she simply stared down at me with a cold look in her face. Yeah, have fun with that. Yay. Even if she didn't realize at the time, oh boy. It does feel like she only realized right then and there that I'm, oh boy, you lied to her, and, you're not technically on their side. Have fun, and a whole speech you gave, oh boy. Yay. Yeah. At that moment, the noise and heat spread throughout the car once again. Oishi returned to the driver's seat. Taking a look, the group that were blocking the road had started to move aside while glaring at Ray. Sorry to keep you waiting. Here we go. Oishi registered the figure of the girl behind me. When the villagers came over and picked her up, a manner of, it's dangerous, so get away. It was then she whispered one or two words, however I couldn't hear any of that. Well then, let's go. I'm gonna get it, okay? But of course, still within the speed limit. Vroom. As I shake off the still audible angry voices, Oishi floored the gas. Along with a roar, and a din, and the shouting, the villagers and the girl quickly disappeared behind us. As soon as we're here, One Takasudo. Okay, if we end up getting to a firefight? Hopefully not a firefight. How about a knife fight instead? But if, like, this was actually so close to the damn area, then... It was abandoned areas. Those people, like, made of... I'm trying to think if, like... Those people like Keiichi just randomly saw walking around had something to do with Aran Takasudo, then. Don't be fumbling with the safety the last moment, you hear? Oh yeah, the safety latch. I forgot about that happens, like, that's on the guns. No. Oishi laughed mockingly again. I was more concerned with what the girl had said, however. I was vaguely bothered by it. Man, you try to be a father figure and look at that. What was she trying to say with an apathetic and candid expression? Suppose it's normal if you're nervous from here on out. But if you don't deal with it, there's a chance you might do something rash. There's no longer a way to confirm what the girl would try to tell me. It might have been that the girl who warned me to go back to Tokyo again, or else, was saying to me, who is here now, ignoring the warning. Even though I warned you, what a fool. And the feeling shoots something like that. Okay, that's an awkward way to do that on a double bar transition. Okay. Alrighty then. Okay. Alright. Wait, this is Takasudo? I guess they're using the same asset on the way towards Mion's house, though. Oh god, that's music again. Oh god. Moody. God. If you were to call Hinamizawa a rather lonely village, then Takasudo was outright desolate. For your everyday city boy like me, I just couldn't understand why anybody would force themselves to live here. There were signs that people had, but they were all covered in dust or enveloped in ivy, indicating that it was all abandoned. It really is growing like vines. People really lived in a place like this, didn't they? Well, it was a long time ago. A place like this is pretty rough for old folk to live. Younger people probably want to try living in a more suitable place. If there's nobody left to take the reins, all that gets left is this. Even if I had no personal attachment to the village, seeing these used buildings made me feel a little sentimental. He said that Oishi also felt the same way. Was the wall found over here? The person who found it must have a good reason to come out to this desolate place. You know, there's some villagers who have a field out in the mountains here. Okay, good, there's actually a reason then. They pass by in the morning and evenings. The villagers who work in the fields walk by here every day. No way. They probably go as far as they can by car. So in the early mornings and evenings, they pass by here and just happen to find a single wallet? They probably did. Where exactly did they say they found it? In a thicket, just a bit further ahead. The person who found the wallet just happened to have some stomach cramps. He's fun to use a thicket to do his business, it seems. Huh. It was there he happened to find it. Well, he opened there was some toilet paper in there. Everything about that story just seems a little too convenient. Yeah, honestly. Right from the discovery of the wallet, I just can't shake the feeling that something's off. I trust the feeling that I had from the start of the day, quite frankly. It seemed too good to be true, but it was unwavering proof. It was too perfect. Sickeningly so. That was my feeling. You might actually be onto something by saying it's all a little too perfect. Meaning? The truth is, I heard a little something from a friend of mine in the 4th Division, where Oreo Samazaki referenced the kidnapping of the minister's grandson. She referenced it? It's been several days since the minister's grandson has been kidnapped. Poor boy. Be nice to let him go soon. Since the old Oreo muttered something like that while on her veranda. Huh. Ah, that's where the tip came into play. Okay, then. And that little musing was conveyed to the various people working deep behind the scenes of the Sonozaki family. Huh. That is, interesting, that she purposely said that over the veranda, then. Very, very interesting. As it's almost to say, like, she knows that people are out there listening, almost. Like, he already knows there are people listening in. And Lily just saying that out, both of them, it feels like it's almost an attempt, like a subtle thing of, like, we know you're listening, So, here's a little tidbit. Right. I had heard something similar from Sada-san, the informant. When the leader Oreo had a concern, somebody in the family would be considerate. Somebody in the family. And the coach is somewhere nearby too, so there's that too. So, in essence, she gave the order to release the hostage. I see it that way. Though all being conveniently scoured was just a ploy to hand the boy over to the police. Why would they release the hostage? Maybe a bit better plan, honestly. Well, there's only one reason why someone would release a hostage, isn't there? What is it? The demands were met. They reached a deal. That would mean the minister promised to halt the Hinamizawa Dam project. Huh. The dam project would definitely go away. That moment, those words the girl had said resurfaced in the back of my mind. It actually makes it even weirder then, if all that is true then. Like, before the festival even happened, the dam project was actually suspended, but then the murder still happened. But then no one technically knew about it. Or if, like, the people, like, no. If the people on the construction site knew that, like, it was canceled, then why kill the foreman still? That is intriguing if that actually was happened. It makes things actually even more complicated, honestly, instead of simpler. At that moment, those words the girl had said resurfaced in the back of my mind. In the end, it was turning out exactly as she had proclaimed. That young girl knew the circumstances. I mean, yeah, she was standing in listening to the whole thing, just like innocently coloring, just, crayon and coloring in her little coloring book. Like, she already knew everything was happening, so yeah. She knew everything about this kidnapping incident, from the beginning to the end. Akasaka. The girl unexpectedly called my name. What is it? Go back to Tokyo. Huh? Before long, you will woefully regret coming to this village. That would be an incredibly pathetic thing to see. But I thought I'd warn you right now. Why would I come to regret it? Stop whining. You tried crossing the road when the don't walk sign was up. Did your parents finish explaining why it was dangerous before pulling you back to the sidewalk? They'd pull you back right away, wouldn't they? They'd pull you back before explaining why it was dangerous, wouldn't they? In other words, it's like that. The girl, who knew everything from start to finish, had warned me in the beginning. Go back to Tokyo. There's also that, look. Akasaka's such a coward. There's that breathing too. We'll probably find the boy, but what happens afterwards will probably be a bit of a problem. That'll be a problem, though, is something a single officer like me can't figure out. Do you know a girl named Rika Furude? What I had said was such a non sequitur that Oishi had sat in a stunned silence for a while. Of course I know her. She's the only daughter of the Furude family, one of the 3 families. What kind of girl is she? Well. That was an unexpected name to hear. I'm a bit surprised. Does Holix do you think that the Furude family smells fishy and wants to keep an eye on them? Share some of them information with me, please. Oh, no, it's not like that. It's something that caught my attention. Well, whatever. It wouldn't do not to answer a question from a friend I sat at the same table with. I'm honored that you call me a friend. So, the little lady is, well, somewhat of a village mascot. She's beloved by everyone in the village. Some of the older folk worship her especially. Worship? I don't know much about it, you see. Outsiders and all. Girls born in the Furude family have somewhat of a sacred implication, it seems. Oh. Well, that thing is coming up again. Okay. It's one of the local beliefs in Hinamizawa. The living incarnation of Oyashiro-sama, something like it. Or so the story goes, apparently. Oyashiro-sama? Oh my gosh, I learned the curse again! Ah! Now that you mention it, I think I saw Oyashiro-sama written in some of the Alliance's banners. What is Oyashiro-sama exactly? It's the name of the guardian deity of Hinamizawa. It's the OG guardian. It's the OGG. They believe he'll exact punishment on those who will do ill towards the village. Well, if there was such a convenient god around, the guys of the dam would have long since been done by divine justice. or waiting for the perfect time. Well, luckily nothing like that has happened to anybody just yet. Emphasis on the YET word. Yet. The grandson of the minister traveled with the village, as a result of Oyashiro-sama's anger, was... What did they call it again? Oh, right. Onikakushi. The minister's grandson was demoned away. Oh, so that's Akasaka, actually, sorry. That would probably be how the script is being written. Ah. I see. Okay. I probably would turn into something like that. Divine punishment wrought by Oyashiro-sama. Then the culprit is the living incarnation of Oyashiro-sama. That girl? Yes, she's behind it all. Telekinesis. Telepathy. She has it all. She can will anything to happen just by her flick of a wrist, flick or snap of fingers, being in someone's presence. Even I didn't know exactly what I was saying. The fact that Oishi laughed it off was a bit of relief. Oishi's joyous laughter was so infectious that I began to laugh like an idiot as well. Oh, this is unusual. Oishi, relaying into the horn several times, rolled the window down and leaned out, waving his arm in an exaggerated manner. There's a car headed the opposite way. Until now, we haven't run into any other cars except our own. It's the doctor crew. But of all places, it was at this desolate location. Or it could be one of the farmers. Instead, Oishi knew the owner of the car. The car also turned its horn and came to a stop. Dr. Erie! Good afternoon. The other car's window rolled down slowly, revealing a young man in a white overcoat. Oh, nice. He was about my age, or perhaps a little bit older. Huh. But you can't really judge someone by their appearance. Oh, why if it isn't Oshi-san? Good afternoon. Fancy meeting you here. That's my line, Doctor. Never thought I'd see you here. You seem like you're on amicable terms here. At least you're pretending to be. So, what changed? What happened? No, nothing. Just a little house call. Oh, really? Was it an emergency? No, nothing quite that serious. Thankfully. It's always for the best when the patient gets better without the need of medical care. They may leave here. If I don't go back quickly, my staff will be angry with me. Being the head of a clinic must be tough. Well then, take care. Bye. A young doctor named Erie, gesturing his farewell, drove forwards and soon disappeared on the corner. Was there no one else in the car that they even picked up on? Huh. Oishi also drove forwards, but soon came to stop again. He pulled out a worn map book from the dash. His expression didn't have an ounce of irreverence. He was perfectly serious. What is it? The clinic should be making house calls today. They're not heading in the right direction. Must have been quite an emergency, otherwise a patient with some extenuating circumstances. Oishi flipped through the pages, opening up to the map of Takasudo. After that, she took a look around and tried to figure out what our current location was. Are you saying the emergency is suspicious? Didn't I say? It's hardly anybody that lives in Takasudo area. The road we're on right now is here. Dr. Erie came from this direction. Having no sense of our surroundings, I couldn't digest anything about the place he was indicating the map. So this area has the area he came from. There's really no one living there, and the area where the farmers are living is way too far away to even be making a pit stop anywhere here. Okay. And since there was no one obvious in the car, that makes it even worse. Huh. We're heading towards the spot where all the wall was found. By the way, that's over here. But see? You're heading into one of the few residents in Takasudo. It's the wrong road. Meaning Dr. Erie came from a direction where there are no residents. As long as somebody working the fields between those mountains didn't collapse. When somebody collapses and you call a doctor, normally you bring them back with you for a more detailed examination. Just now, Dr. Erie said it was nothing serious. Didn't seem like anybody else was in the car with him. Yeah. There's something weird going on. Oishi didn't say any more than that. I also said nothing more. That doctor just now, examined a patient close by. Only that. The noisy radio had suddenly gone quiet. The sky just suddenly turned an oppressive color. As Oishi mused that it might start to rain, a torrential downpour started, as though trying not to disappoint him. Hey, look, it's the rainy days from the tip menu. Oh boy, where are we going to see a grandfather clock or any kind of clock around here, for symbolic purposes? Eventually, Oishi stopped the car. The only sounds that broke the silence were the percussion of the rain in the roof and the soft squeak of the windshield wipers. Let's do this a bit hush-hush, shall we? Saying in a quiet voice, he exited the car with an umbrella, careful not to make any noise. Oishi leaned over, indicating the other side of the thicket. He was pointing to a prefabricated shed, and a car was parked beside it. Oh, hello! The car looked obviously well cared for. It wasn't a vehicle that had been left there for several years. What's that shed? It contains equipment used by the Forestry Service. Or that they don't go near it except for during the summertime. This is almost summertime anyway. Does that car belong to somebody from the Forestry Service then? Does it look like an official vehicle? No. Doesn't look like an official vehicle though. No, she's playing it cool. My nervousness was gradually increasing. Well, just in case. Saying that, Oishi returned to the car. I thought he was going to get an umbrella, but he grabbed the onboard radio instead. Yes, radio and in. Back up, yeah. Hello, this is Oishi. Do you read? Greetings. God damn it. The laugh again. Yes, this is Okinomiya PS. Oishi-san, we read you loud and clear. Over. I'm currently in the front of the Forestry Service's equipment shed. Not the one in the direction of Yaguchi, the one on Takasudo, if you head there from Hinamizawa. Affirmative. Copy that. There are some suspicious people in the shed. Proceed to investigate. You don't hear back from me in 5 minutes, get in touch with the local police substation and then send a cruise as soon as possible. If you would, please. Understood. Well then, shall we go take a look? Oh, here we are. Since he was first confined here, he heard the sound of a car multiple times. Oh, look, we're back in this now. So I'm assuming the Dr. Plan was a bust then. Apparently then, so... Since he was first confined here, he had heard the sound of a car multiple times. So he just thought the far-off sound was more the same. However, the reaction of his cat was, until now, something he hadn't seen before. They jumped, reacting as if shocked by a jolt of electricity, and pressed against the window, cautiously peering outside. They stopped. Somebody from the Forestry Service? This is bad. Now, it looks like a cop to me. The captors lifted the boy by his collar and pressed a blade against his cheek. Oh boy. Hey kid, keep quiet for a bit. I think you know this, but if you try and shout, there'll be problems. Toshiki Inukai was sure the doctor reported things to the police. Nope at all. Nothing. Absolutely goddamn worthless nothing. He felt relief when he thought that he was saved, but not imagining that his captors would resort to violence when they were cornered. His anxiety remained unabated. Makes it even better if I'm uptrained. Well, unless the acting was that good, then then Erie couldn't like see an actual like realistic case going or not. Food for thought. He felt relief when he thought that he was saved, but not imagining that his captors would resort to violence when they were cornered. His anxiety remained unabated. What do we do? Gotta buy time. Take the kid. Slip out the back. We'll meet back here when the heat's off. One of the perpetrators grabbed the boy by the collar and forced him to stand. Of course, Toshiki Inukai tried to resist by feigning that his illness had been aggravated by his rough treatment. His captors paid no heed. Bang, bang, bang. The door was violently banged upon. Excuse me? Hello? Oh my god. The door was banged on again. Toshiki Inukai hesitated for a moment to respond to the voice by yelling. However, while he was being indecisive, his mouth was covered, taking an option away from him. The leader of the captors waved to the other to go. The younger perpetrator non-response, and, while keeping the boy's mouth covered, started heading towards the back door. All sheds have back doors. Mine doesn't. Hello, you need something? How do you do? This is the police. Would you mind opening the door? The Sunrain is in a bit of trouble. I'll just open. Then when the lock was undone, Oishi forced the door open. A gleam of menace in his eyes, he pushed the man aside and he stepped into the room. Then in a small and empty room, he was able to quickly discern that the boy he was looking for was nowhere to be seen. I heard this was an equipment shed for the forestry service. There's nothing here at all. There's nothing inside the room that would indicate this was an equipment shed. There was only a mountain of blankets, indicating that somebody is sleeping here, alongside empty food packets strewn about. Been empty for some time now. Never seen no equipment stored around here. And you're gonna claim that you're squatters? Okay. But this is the Forestry Service building, isn't it? Are you from the Forestry Service? But yeah. Police? The two of them glared at each other suspiciously. Both Oishi and the man steadfastly refused to reveal identity before the other did. And, where's Akasaka right now? He's, nowhere nearby, so, foot chase. The man, judging from the sharp look in Oishi's eyes, realized that it would be hard to talk his way out of this one. No matter what he said, the most time he could buy would probably be only a few dozen seconds. Only the sound of rain filled this tense moment. Just then, they heard a sound of a struggle from far off. Oishi had a hunch. There was no doubt that Akasaka, who was circling around back, had run into the perpetrators who were trying to slip away. Ooh. As Oishi thought that, the man in front of him reacted a moment faster. Oh boy. The man swung with an attack that was more intended to obscure Oishi's vision rather than actually hit him in the face. Okay, I'm blindfold, over the eyes, shove, then run, make a break for it. Seeing his opportunity, the man aimed to kick at Oishi's groin without any hesitation. But he missed his mark and was unable to land that critical blow. The man, trying to pin Oishi, grabbed him by the base of his neck with both hands and fiercely tried to push him down. As Oishi fell backwards, as it kicked the man upward, he dug his foot into the man's midsection. Oh, we're out here. With that leg acting as a fulcrum, the man was flung from the falling Oishi as if by a circle throw. The two of them squared off in the pouring rain. Okay. Isn't this interesting? We suddenly just went to his perspective then. Isn't this interesting? You wanna go? Oishi, as if trying to cheer himself on, grinned smugly. He then stood up while brushing the mud off himself. Even though he countered the assault, Oishi was getting up rather awkwardly compared to the man who he threw, who swiftly sprang to his feet. Oishi-san! Hurry! Akasaka's voice rang out from the distance. Judging from the distress in his voice, he was already engaged in a fight, and wanted Oishi to reconvene with him. But Oishi's hands were full as well. Akasaka-san! Sorry, but can you wait a bit? The man raised both fists into a stance that hinted at him being acquainted with karate or some other form of martial art. Oh boy. Of course, Oishi, as a officer of the law, was decently versed in judo. Is that what every cop in Japan is like? He also had the moxie that had been through his fair share of fights before. Because of that, he could tell that the man in front of him was quite a bit better fighting than he was. Damn it. Thinking that this was going to be easy just because the order came from the Suzuki family to release the hostage had been a big mistake. You're pretty good. It's been a while since I got this worked up. Oishi played off the situation like it was no sweat. His opponent, seeing his attitude, took it to mean that Oishi wasn't going to go down easily. The man widely charged forward, intending to grab Oishi. The man managed to successfully clinch from his low stance. Oishi tackled to the ground and ended up being mounted. It was something you saw often when children fought. Like being straddled, and then, by then, you're just pinned. But it was really a bad position, since you couldn't do much once you were in it. Like a reverse headlock in the ground. Oishi responded to that move, also lowered his stance to collide with the man head-on. The moment they clashed, Oishi grabbed the man's lapel. To yank the lapel outwards, he smashed in the man's solar plexus with the elbow of the same arm. It was a move from Oichi's own personal brand of brawling judo. He then grabbed on with his free hand, intended to throw his opponent with both hands. The man lowered his center of gravity, throwing his arms in a large arc, entwining them with Oishi's. Not only that, but he had forced both of Oishi's elbows to the outside, and Oishi, now in an awkward position, was in danger of exposing his back with his hands still clutching the man's chest. This guy, press Aikido or grappling, didn't he? Isn't Aikido like a self-defense arc? Self-defense art. Oishi, cursing the fact that his fingers were twisted into the man's shirt and couldn't get away, released his grip. But he was still in the awkward position of being bent over. To top it off, at 0 range, the man was able to read Oishi's movements completely to try to squirm his way into a better position. And then, to the palm of his hands, instantly clapped them over both of Oishi's ears. Okay, well that's how you get hearing damage. Ah! Clapping the ears in any other martial art, except for self-defense, is basically forbidden. Okay. Karate and Judo didn't recognize as a legal technique. It was that much of a simple and dangerous attack. Oishi raised both his hands and he tried to reflexively clutch at his own ears. Well, if you learn all the illegal moves, if you're in a dangerous situation, might as well use them at every chance you get then, even for cheating moves. Especially in a big fight, claw, kick or anything like that. Really tear someone's limb with your own limbs with your own mouth. Tear off a finger when you're in a dangerous fight. Do anything to stay alive. Before that could happen, the man wrapped his arms around Oishi's neck. His thick biceps clenched firmly around the base of Oishi's neck like a vice. Oh god. I'm assuming this is where a choice would happen, but meh. Oishi instinctively thought he was going to be killed. After all, it wasn't hard to believe that a man like this, who's accustomed to fighting, could crush his opponent's neck from this position. Oh boy. Okay, you're slowly losing oxygen. His opponent didn't do that. He'd chosen to keep his hold and force Oishi to lose consciousness. That's why Oishi, at that moment, even though his face was twitching, was grinning widely. Even though his opponent had a chance to kill him, he didn't choose to. He was thinking, this guy's no intent of killing me. However, even though that might be the case, the man's hold on his neck was by no means gentle. In no time at all, Oishi's consciousness began to fade. How many kidnappers were there? There was 2? It was only 2? That sounds a bit actually from the back and forth talking. Huh. Okay, so each Akasaka and Oishi is now just dealing with both sides of it. Huh. It's a very simple kidnapping, at the very least, from the sounds of it. Having the experience of being taken down countless times in judo during his student days, Oishi was utterly resigned to the fact that this was over. Unless Akasaka came. Oh boy. Akasaka was finally recovering from the intense pain of being kicked in a rather sensitive area. We're going back to your point of view, but third person now. He bumped into the captor carrying the boy by the back entrance. I actually like his background too a lot. He had seen Toshiki Inukai's picture plenty of times, wasn't able to immediately ascertain if the boy in front of him was the real deal, with his mouth covered in packing tape. Also, with his limited experience, it wasn't hard for him to panic over how to deal with the situation. Yeah, there's that too. Oh boy, if the other guy was acquainted with fighting and this guy is too, but also grappling with a boy, oh boy. And if he's threatening the kid as well, oh boy. Of course, the perpetrator didn't overlook this momentary lapse. His kick landed squarely in a critical spot, with Akasaka not even having time to call for help. Well, he did kind of call for help, but was denied, so. As the man flung the boy over his shoulder, he headed towards the front of the shed. Maybe just the extra reinforcements coming towards here is actually just going to be the saving grace here, honestly. The 5-minute thing. Although fights do tend to be pretty quick sometimes, so depending on how fast things are going. The only thing you can do is just prolong time for that to happen. Just wait for a good strategy then. As the man flung the boy over his shoulder, he headed towards the front of the shed. Upon hearing Oishi's bellowing voice, he gave up going that direction, then dashed out towards the forest. Probably thinking don't clash and meld teams together, just run with the kid, do the mission right. As the weight of the boy slung over his shoulder wasn't even there. Yep, he's definitely strong. Akasaka was lost for a moment. Me with Oishi, who's fighting with the enemy, was by far the safer option, but he couldn't lose just sight of the fleeing man. Akasaka stood up and chased to the captor's back. He ran through a short thicket, branches and falling leaves crunching underfoot. The tips of branches raked and clawed at him, small scratches inscribing themselves on his body one after another. He kept on stepping into puddles and mud, and his shoes were soon filled with murky water. Is this actually around, unless they're reusing, like, you know, like environment backgrounds, is this actually around where I'm, I guess all the other, like, trails happen? Probably not, honestly, but still. Maybe it's close by the swamp. I want to figure out where that is in the town. For Akasaka, traveling through this unexplored forest was, even though this was an emergency situation, extremely unpleasant. Stop! This is the police! He said that, he regretted it immediately, as it was but a waste of breath. I wasn't a thief in the world that would politely stop and told to the police. Unless I'm those ones who are really scared. But I'm not here. To a city boy like Akasaka, running through this forest was an arduous task. Exercise more. However, it must have been no easy task either for the man carrying the minister's grandson. Yeah, extra weight also. Make sure he doesn't trip through anything. No harm must come to the hostage. He neither gained nor lost ground in his pursuit. Akasaka, upon realizing that, gained back a bit of composure. Just keep on chasing him. We were running into the same conditions. In fact, the man running with an awkward stride was at far more of a disadvantage. I couldn't run forever. Eventually, he'd definitely trip and fall. As long as he was being hounded, he definitely stumbled. And soon, his wish was fulfilled. Whoa! The man, who stepped into something and lost his balance, was no longer able to bear the weight of the boy, dropping him. Akasaka, in all honesty, didn't care about the perpetrator at all, just as long as he could ensure the safety of Toshiki Inokai. And so the perpetrator ran off by himself. That was perfectly acceptable. The scene that Toshiki Inokai was important to the man as well. He didn't choose to just run away empty-handed. Okay, well, Toshiki, you feel like you're not blindfolded and all that, like, still, this is probably the best time to do some amount of resistance, honestly. Akasaka didn't know what to do in this kind of situation. His first priority should probably be to ensure the safety of the boy, so doing his counter being less important. Grappling with the perpetrator wasn't something to be planned on. Most likely, is either do or die. Akasaka's moment of decision proved to be fatal. The man, aiming right between, rather, both of Akasaka's eyes, struck out the jab. Not only that, Akasaka raised both his hands to shoot his face. At that moment, the man kicked at his unguarded midsection. The pain almost felt like his vital organs were being squeezed out of his body, but he latched onto his opponent's leg. But his opponent didn't hesitate one bit. Leading with his seized foot, the man jumped at Akasaka, applying pressure and pushing him down. Akasaka was unable to withstand that and fell. Under no circumstances was he letting that leg go. I wonder if the boy, like, untied? They probably tied him up immediately when the doctor left, though, so, The two men fell together in a tangled heap. The man was desperate to pull his leg free from Akasaka, and having fallen in an awkward position, he was unable to. Oh boy. Oh, this is definitely around him, the house, okay. The two of them rolled around the ground, floundering about, trying to gain an advantage. But Akasaka, who was holding onto his opponent's knee with both hands, and the opponent, with complete freedom to move his upper body, were in two completely different situations. The man gained a positional advantage on Akasaka, who still latched onto his leg and couldn't move away, and pounded full force in his head with both his fists. Not only that, found a rock nearby and beat it against Akasaka's skull. Okay, that's gonna cause damage. How big is that? Oh boy, it's just not to fit in your goddamn hand. Oh boy. The difference between being hit with a fist and being hit with a rock was vast. Akasaka quickly thought of letting go of the man's leg to free his hands and protect his head. But, if he let go here, the man would get away. If he didn't dig in here, everything would have been for naught. The boy he was trying to save was right there. He was gonna save him and go back to Tokyo. If he could do that, it was goodbye to his freakish village. Oh boy, that's literally what's driving you here and not anything else. Okay, that's funny. Bam, crack, thud. Without looking, I could tell. Okay, we're fully into your perspective now. I could tell my forehead split open and was gushing blood. Huh. I'm assuming that's where choices were in the third-person section then. I didn't let go of the man's leg. How could I? I won't let go. The man realized that no matter how much he beat my head, he wasn't getting away. He used both his hands to grab my throat as I crushed my windpipe. I pulled my head back as a slight form of resistance. It was of no use. The man's hands enveloped my neck, and crushed like a vice. Oh boy. It was less about the pain of not being able to breathe, so much as it was choking so hard I felt like I was going to throw up. Oh boy. I feel like my stomach was going to turn itself inside out. I could only endure it. Damn it, damn it, damn it! My throat hurts. I'll let go. I can't let go. I don't want to be here. I want to resolve this and go back to Tokyo. Go back to Tokyo. And talk to Yuki. All about our unborn child. We were going to talk about our bright future. I had no intention of loosening the man's grip. However, I loosened just a bit. The man's leg came free then. The man kicked as hard as possible and tumbled backwards. My head was spinning. I was unable to get up right away. Now, I couldn't even put any strength in getting up in the first place. Even so, I couldn't back down. If I let him escape now, the chance would never come again. Even just catching their scent was nothing short of a miracle. Yeah, if it's that hard for this, oh boy. If we weren't able to get the minister's grandson back here, there wouldn't be another chance. The man tried to drag the boy to his feet. The kid was displaying some unexpected resistance, allowing me to get up unnoticed. I grasped the rock the man had just beat me over the head with. Aim for the vitals. Now it's my turn. Ah! The rock should be able to supplement with what mere strength I had left, adding more than enough power to my attack. My fist, still wrapped around the rock, dug into the side of the man's torso. It seems like it hurt him quite a bit. The man rolled around for a bit, clutching his side. I'm assuming he dropped the boy then too. Free from the man's grip, the boy hid behind me. Oh, he's actually enough to like walk around then, okay. Toshiki Inukai-kun, right? I couldn't help you. To the boy, those are the words he was waiting for the most. The crisis was still not over here. That was because even though he was still clutching at his side, the man had gone up again, taking a fighting stance. I could see in the man's eyes the resentment, the pain I caused him, and the confidence that he could still beat me. Oh boy. If we were to clash head-on again, he might not even stop if my head were split open. Okay. Stop resisting. Surrender quietly. You should just hand the boy over. Do you want me to snap your neck? Who will listen to you now? Reinforcements are already on their way. There's nowhere for you to run. The man reacted adversely to the word reinforcements. Well, it's going to happen either way. I thought you thought the police were here. That's because he now knew that arguing like this wasn't just a waste of time, but put him closer and closer to danger. Realizing that, the man shifted mental gears almost too quickly, and to processing speeds at a high voltage. Then let's finish this fast. How about this? What the man pulled from his back pocket was all things a gun. Oh yay, have fun. Of course, I'm a police officer. It's like I don't know what a gun is. It sounds like you don't know what a gun is from the sound of it. Having one pointed at me was something I'd never experienced before. Well, you're getting parallels of what Oishi experienced. Have fun. Was it real? I mean, if it's the Yakuza, they probably have means to grab one, so... Of course it was! There's no way it'd be a replica in a situation like this. Put both your hands behind your head and lay down quietly. Don't get cocky, you villain. I won't do anything you say. You stupid idiot. Do you not know what this is without me shooting you with it? Then shoot. Reinforcements will hear the gunshot and head right over here. Are you stupid? We're in the middle of the forest. On top of that, it's raining. You'll never hear a thing. It just sounds like a slow, just shonen little scene right here. As long as he still had the gun, no matter how much I yelled at him, I was at a distinct disadvantage. I still had a fighting chance here. If I was in his shoes, instead of yelling at him, instead of wasting time yelling at each other like this, I would just shoot him and take the boy. That way was the fastest, and would suppress any sort of further resistance from him. Either like he thinks there's something we can do, or like he does not want to injure or like kill at all. Especially since the other guy definitely didn't want to kill, just incapacitate Oishi, so... Oh boy, that guy's probably gonna be on his way here then too, oh boy. After that. But the man was demanding my surrender, without having fired a single shot. Yeah, he either didn't want to shoot, or couldn't. In other words, the man in front of me was soft. Okay. I could buy even just a little more time. The factors that would lead to my victory were numerous. Oishi was probably on his way. The reinforcements we called for before coming here should already be on their way here too. Not only that, they should have contacted the local police box. Without a doubt, Somebody stationed in the village will be here much quicker than that. Yeah, okay, that's definitely guaranteed by now, but after so much running happened, they're definitely on their way. Without a doubt, somebody stationed in the village will definitely be here much quicker than that. Damn it. Do I have to put a bullet in you to understand how dangerous this thing is? I mean, yeah, at this point, I mean, it could be a Nerf gun for all we know. Painted black, all we know. There's no escape. Don't add to your crimes. At the moment, I heard the rustling of foliage and heavy footsteps approaching. The voice was coming here. It's a whole new ball game. It's not him. Oh boy. The man couldn't have more than one gun. Oishi-san! Over here! Over here! Huh? I thought the time was on my side. I failed to even imagine the enemy could also have reinforcements. You could tell the man who just appeared was one of the perpetrators by looking at him. What are you doing? If you don't hurry up, the police will get here. Stop lollygagging! Damn it! What happened to Oishi-san? That chubby fella? He's down for the count. Figured. Oh boy. Okay, the guy didn't laugh. It definitely is just like Saturday morning villain cartoon stuff now. Like a tiny bit. Okay. But with guns, no Saturday morning cartoon would involve guns. That's a big difference here. And blood. He is? Damn it. The boy, sensitive to the impending danger, crawled up behind my back. How could it be? Damn it. Your buddy isn't coming. Serves you right. Shoots in their foot now. So backed up against a large tree while still protecting the boy. The second man also pulled out a gun. Two for the price of one gun. Won't be saying this twice. Put your hands on your head and lie down. I refuse. Oh boy. Oh god. Bang. To shout in protest, blood erupted from my left shoulder. It took a few moments to register that I'd been shot. Compared to the times I've seen in movies and TV dramas, the first actual gunshot I heard was simple and mundane. In fact, the sound was more akin to the small fireworks I used to buy from the corner store as a kid. There was no comparing the pain here. It was a fear you knew only after you'd been shot. Sir? Are you okay? Are you okay? The boy, his confusion, touched on my clothes, agitating the wound even further. Oh boy. Especially if it's like, hopefully I didn't hit a vital organ. Or like a vital nerve, actually. Shoulders have vital organs. I wanted to put on a bold face and reassure him. My voice was hoarse and had the opposite effect. I'm alright. I've already called for backup. There'll be a full squad here soon. It'd be quicker to put one through your head before the cops get here. That family said no needless killing, so I'm taking it easy on you. Don't mess with me or I ain't holding back. This is bad. It was very, very bad. The second man was a completely different beast than the first. He had no signs of indecisiveness or mercy. Well, just the sound of it, he's definitely more experienced here in the kidnapping phase, or... Oh my god, literally the person that Akasaka was facing off was also a rookie. I know she was facing off more of an experienced person. Yay, parallels again. This man said he'd shoot. He'd shoot! He wasn't somebody like that man like me could buy time from. I really hate to admit it. That moment, the image of Yuki's smiling face crossed my mind. I knew what that meant. I was warning myself to not throw my life away over a matter of pride. Of course, I didn't want to die here. I'm starting a new life with Yuki, and I want to see the face of her soon-to-be-born child. Why should I risk my life for some minister's grandson when I was at such a critical juncture in my own life? Damn it. Damn it. I start rubbing at myself. So what do I do now? Give it the boy and extend my own life? What a good idea. Everybody's life is precious. My own life was in danger. Nobody would blame me. God damn it. It hurts. It hurts. If I'd known it would be this painful, I wouldn't have played a tough guy. Biggest miscalculation, though. The sound of the gunshot was far quieter than I imagined. It was only that loud, be drowned out by the rain in the forest. Yep, completely on your own. Have fun. I feel like if like the choices were like all that kind of numerous too, like my first thought was like literally as maybe, well, I guess it'd be too overwhelming. If like choices were here, let's like add like innocuous choices like left and right. Honestly, some that do nothing, some which lead to bad ends if they actually had to do it, or all that. Yeah, because it seems like be a lot of different ways things could have went bad here. Honestly, I was actually thinking like this kind of scene would take place a bit further on, to be honest. It was only that loud. We drowned out by the sound of the rain in the forest. It wasn't something that somebody far away could hear. Well, I guess the soft guy, as you put it, got it right. Damn it. Wait. Just wait. I don't want to die. Ah, and I don't want to kill ya. As long as you understand. Don't shoot, okay? Don't shoot. I have a wife waiting for me at home. I don't want to die. I won't shoot so long as you don't yell or nothing. Just quietly put your hands on your head and lie down. Will you really? Will you really? You'll keep your promise, right? This is a promise between men. It's a promise between men, okay. Yeah, that's shown and stuff. Is that back in the Kaito High? I will. It's a promise between men. Well, it's Mondo, actually, technically, so, yeah. Keep your promise. Keep it. I'm gonna get down on the ground, okay? I'm getting down. I'll keep my promise, so stop pointing that gun at me. You're still thinking of shooting me, aren't you? You want to shoot me, don't you? When I get down on the ground, you're just gonna shoot me in the back of the head, aren't you? This, like, you're feigning just all of this just to get some more time. I won't. Fine. I'll put it away. I'll put the gun away. It's a promise between men. There. No problem now, right? Yeah, absolutely no complaints. Hi. Okay, how'd you get up again? Ah! Ah! It was over in a flash. And when he lowered his gun, Oishi had this chance to buy. Oh, you noticed in the background, okay. Oishi had been assessing the situation for quite some time behind the two men. And since they had their guns trained to me, he didn't really have a chance to jump in. Seeing the look on Oishi's face indicating that he wanted me to create an opening, I took on the role completely. Nice! Nice interaction. Oishi forcefully lifted the arm that was holding the gun. He then took the gun from the man's hand in only an instant. The other man, who was a bit slow in grasping what was happening, pointed his gun at them, but with his ally grappling with Oishi, he couldn't pull the trigger. Nice! If that man was the one that was wrestling with Oishi at the moment, he might have shot without hesitation. This man wouldn't shoot. He couldn't shoot. Oishi kicked the other man away, and while aiming the stolen gun with his left hand, pulled out his own. Okay, dual wielding time, okay. With the guns akimbo, he was aiming at both men at the same time. I do believe that's a checkmate. It was perfectly played. But heedless of the guns pointed at them, the man shouted, "Scram!" as they scattered away at full speed. Scatter! Just scatter away like cockroaches. One fall, like at a normal speed, climbs a tree. One just buries itself deep into the ground. Like, God. Like moles. It was over in an instant. Huh. Those two running away without putting up a fight was honestly unexpected. I mean, if you dual wield and I'm point the gun sideways, and yeah, I'm pretty sure I would be scared off. Oishi, quietly clicking his tongue in odd admonishment, slipped both guns into his pants pockets. You wish for more to happen. Those guys know their stuff. Hmm? What do you mean? An officer won't fire at somebody who's fleeing. I want to keep my pension here. No, my... Oishi and I grinned at each other. Me, Toshiki Inukai-kun. The grandson of the Minister of Construction, Inukai. Yes. There's going to be a major incident. We'll probably only cut the tail of the lizard, though. Oishi smiled amusedly. Huh. The fact that the Onikafuchi Guardians, or rather, the Sonozaki family behind them, was pulling the strings was apparent, but proving it wouldn't be easy. And, apologies to the Oishi, this incident was unlikely to go public. This caused an uproar. It would obviously lead to the minister losing his office. Yeah, so keep it on the down low, too slow, not too fast. With HQ having decided that doing so was in the national interest, this would probably be cleaned up quietly. It might be a rough way of saying it, but this was born in the shadows and was going to die in the shadows. Yeah, so the fact that Shion also heard about it, yeah. Only could have heard it from whoever the kidnappers were, like, hired by or anything like that. Also say Spider for no reason. Hello. Only she probably understood the implication behind this incident. For the time being, let's cordon off the area. It seems that one of them still has a gun. And then let's go to Inukai-kun to safety and get to the hospital. The tension in the situation faded. The pain from the gunshot wound in my shoulder blossomed once again. Yeah, you probably get that checked out. Oh god, not to the same clinic. God damn it, no. Please not there. Please not there. My forehead was also stinging painfully. Had grown hot enough to start a fire. Thinking the tension had caused me to sweat. On my forehead, what came out was a large amount of blood. I realized that my shirt had been stained bright crimson from the blood flowing from my head. I turned around. The boy was safe and sound. Without a doubt. There'll probably be an investigation of the men who ran, but that was for another day. And not for this novice salary policeman. At this point in time, I could safely say we had cleared the major hurdle of securing the boy's safety. And your vision also went. As soon as I recognized that, I felt like the lights in my head had been hit by a power failure. My knees buckled from underneath me, the ground there feeling as soft as a cloud. It didn't feel unpleasant even as I was covered in the rain-soaked mud. Oishi came closer, asking if I was okay, but somehow, I couldn't tell. I turned off the switch the last light in my head. The exhaustion enveloped me. Sleep. Sleep, policeman. Sleep. Something softer than any blanket wrapped around me. Please don't let it be the actual goddamn hospital. The clinic, please. Please let it be anywhere else but there. But there. Please. A very kind person. Huh. Mission accomplished achievement. I do not believe that's the end of it, though. Honestly. There's something more going on, but since the hostage was, like, secured, what else is gonna happen? Again, a lot of the chapters here seem to end without... I don't know how we'll go from here. Even this, even more so. But even though there's one tip, I'm actually probably going to go through another one on here, but let's go find out. A very kind person. This definitely seems like, well, for the hospital or clinic. Please be anywhere but the Erie Clinic. Oh, is this Yuki? Patients admitted to the hospital can only accept calls at fixed times. That's why she wouldn't be receiving a call from him today. Ah, okay. Yesterday, she had teased him that he got lonely easily, so he might have struggled with the idea of calling her sooner. That was much easier to imagine, rather than that he might just be too busy to call. Because he's just the type of person, doesn't like communicating a lot. That's work on that. Yuki, whispering that, smiled to herself. The announcement that visiting hours were over played over the hospital intercom, along with some music. She exchanged pleasantries with the family of the patient that was staying in the same room as her. Proudly eager for his mother to be discharged, their small child was wearing a beaming smile. That child's mother was pregnant in the bed next to mine with what may be their new brother or sister. They're probably ready to burst the expectations, dreams, and worries of having a new sibling. Joys of a growing family. Bathing in those warm feelings, I stroked my own belly, which had grown quite large. I talked with him about how many children we wanted to have. We talked about how if we had 3, it would certainly be lively. How there was the inescapable worry of whether I would be able to handle giving birth that many times. There isn't a mother out there who would hate to give birth because of that worry, though. I mean, if it's life-threatening, then I'm, hopefully. Yuki, smiling, she said that to herself, gently stroked her stomach. The Metropolitan Public Safety Division. The place where that man's sense of justice had led him. That person was actually a very gentle, very fragile person. He didn't talk much about the specifics, but I didn't think he was suited for the assignment he was on right now. But as long as he said he was going to try his best, I would watch over him warmly. Your father, you see, is a very hard worker, you know. Coochie coochie coo, Hoshi. Yuki seemed to be enjoying herself as she talked to her own belly. At that moment, Yuki suddenly became concerned about something and looked out the window. It used to be this time, long ago. She remembered that when she was little, around this time in the countryside, where her grandmother lived, the Higurashi would fill the air with their chorus. This was the middle of Tokyo. Like in the countryside, you couldn't hear the song of the Higurashi. Oh god, why they traveled all the way from Hinamizawa all the way out to here. Oh my gosh, this is truly the power of the paranormal. If there's no paranormal in this game, this actually is it. The cries of the crickets right here, right here in the middle of nowhere in the city. But for some reason, at that moment, Yuki felt that she wanted to hear that song, but we still can hear it. Hmm. Yeah, that was actually kind of pleasant and nice. Well, technically, we already know from the very prologue of the game that he's gonna be alive, at least canonically. So there's that. But I also actually want to figure out like what actually the other choice. I was recommended to actually go the other routes, other choice, the red box, as something interesting happens there. Whether it's because the game like actually saves the choice you make and recognizes you went back to it, or something interesting, something new and interesting happens there on the other end. I'm kind of curious to see. So let's see. Just give me a hover forward a bit more. Bit more. So you're lost. Like, okay, so it's the red and blue box, and you can only choose one. The other side would then be gone forever. So, red box it is. Have you thought about it? In the end, you chose this color, didn't you? As soon as you chose, the other box disappeared. So you can give up the contents of that one, okay? It sounds a bit different, actually. Yeah, this actually sounds a tiny bit different now. That's the rule. Now, open the box you chose. I swear, if this better only have one piece of gum. If the other one was just a packet of gum, then like, bad deal. I'm expecting this to be worse. Meh. So the box there was a piece of caramel. Yes, it kind of was a tiny bit worse. It's just one piece of caramel and not a whole packet of gum. Right now you're thinking, that's it? That's right. The contents of the red box and the blue box were a piece of caramel and a stick of chewing gum. Okay, it definitely recognized it. Nice, it definitely recognized it. You might have thought you made the wrong choice before, but seeing them together like this, you can't really say that either choice was the wrong one. Well, I guess everyone has their personal preferences. Yes. You prefer caramel to gum, for example. You're definitely thinking of choosing to open the box again based on that preference. Only now. The clear choices you wanted were basically this. Yeah, but this is literally just, that was the rule, but, just the fact that we went back and made this choice, we kind of broke that rule. So, you get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir. The selfish desire to open up both boxes and compare the contents, then pick the one most suited to you. But you see, reality is the same as this game. Pick one, the one you didn't choose disappears. So there's no way you could check the result. If, at that time, if you had done this, perhaps if you had done that, then it wouldn't be hard to imagine that you could be happier, or perhaps less happy than you are right now. I was already going into this choice expecting that I was going to get less, because blue's my favorite color, and blue's never let me down. And look where this has got me. I feel very, very unhappy. My day has been ruined. In the end, you only have the pleasure of approving of, or being disappointed by the choice that you did make. But that's fine. After all, didn't you enjoy the thrill of making the choice? If, like now, you knew the contents of both boxes, the choice between the red box and the blue box would just be a waste of time. Because instead of this boring game about boxes, you could be looking at the quickly changing evening summer sky, listening for the distant sound of thunder, the pondering if it's gonna rain or not. That would be much more fun, including the sound of watching paint dry or just the grass grow or the ice melt. That actually was really interesting to see, actually. I'm actually glad I went back to it, actually. That was really interesting. It did save that choice, though, by the very end. Huh. I guess it looks at the save files to make sure of that, because literally, this is literally the other side of the save files, the one where I chose the very beginning. I was going to choose a choice and went down that path. So definitely looking through all the other save files to see if it got down. That's really interesting to see. Okay, but I'm trying to think exactly how would the story go from here, because this is chapter 4. And if my meta theory is right, and it's like the chapter 5 is not going to be the big ending or anything like that, then something else is going to come up then. If reinforcements on their way, the kid is saved from the rescuing and all that, then what else is there? I guess no, he's been given a new mission even though he's been shot on the shoulder. Go back into the town, reinvestigate things, or we suddenly just change a different perspective of another officer on scene, honestly. But since we've been in his point of view for four chapters straight, it's either Oishi, who we've been in and out of perspective as well, or really just back to him and he just back to business and just with a sling and just, you know, a little patch of, you know, a band-aid, or no, sorry, plastic adhesive tape the medicals use on there for brand purposes and copyright issues. It's probably just, we're still gonna be in his head though. He'll just get a patch up and heal it out, and he gets I guess a general rundown of what's happened. It's most likely that. So he gets get healed up and he'll be back on the job. Oh boy, well, being a police officer is definitely not gonna be that much fun if you're doing that and like always in your feet, even eating through all that. So oh boy, he's gonna get used to that when he wakes up, and we'll see how if he wakes up for next time. So, for fun time watches as I am playing this, hope to see you next time, the time that may be, and I hope you fantastic day.